Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Kristie.
And I'm Josh. We've got some more great Reddit stories for you today, so let's jump right in.
Am I the asshole for refusing to reimburse my friend for a chair that broke under me?
I mean, was it a crappy chair? Or did you do something dumb? I'm gonna go with not the asshole, but if you were jumping on it, then you're the asshole.
I, female 25, was at a friend's house for a game night this past weekend with a group of about 6. Everyone brought food and drinks and we were having a good time. When about halfway through the night, I got up to use the bathroom. When I came back, I saw that one of the girls had moved from a chair to the side to my space on the couch. This didn't bug me as people shuffle around in groups, so whatever. The chair was an antique wooden chair that sat a bit lower to the ground with an added back/butt cushion. When I sat down, it immediately broke, sending me to the ground with the seat under me and the arm frames falling to the side.
Okay, it sounds like the chair was booby-trapped.
Everyone got quiet for a second before jumping up to help me. I wasn't hurt, just very embarrassed. For context, I'm a bigger girl, about 260 pounds at 5'7".
A chair should be able to handle 260.
I agree. My friend, female 27, was very gracious and nice about it when it happened, accepting my apologies and telling me not to worry. Her boyfriend, male 29, said that the chair was his grandmother's and it had fallen apart before and he was able to repair it. I was ushered back to the couch and game night continued.
I'm thinking on that chair and I'm like, I'm 220. I feel like I would not hesitate to sit on any chair. And if I have to hesitate to sit on a chair, it's a bad chair.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're under 300, you really should not have to worry about chairs.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, if you're under 300, you should be able to sit in any chair, and if you can't, it's a bad chair.
Yes.
Fast forward to the next morning, I received a text from my friend who let me know that the chair couldn't be put back together, and that from her research, it would cost about $250 to get a new one. But she'd let me know exactly how much when she found one.
Oh yeah, it's going to cost $250 to get an antique chair that you can't get a new one. And it sounds like it was crappy. Even just the description of it kind of sounds like it was a bad chair when it was new. Those ones with, the extra cushion on the butt and the back, I've never seen one that doesn't look cheap.
It was in style back then when they were new.
It was probably in style back then, you're right.
I was a bit taken aback and responded confused, asking why I would be expected to pay for a faulty chair. She said that yes, while on occasion the frames would become unattached and cause it to fall apart, but that's not what happened this time. She sent me pictures of the broken chair, particularly a bent support and 2 other broken supports.
So this shitty chair falls apart all the time, and just because you're the last person to break it, you have to pay for it? I'm really mad about this. Clearly those supports have bent over time, right?
You would think. I was like, if any chair falls apart just randomly sometimes, maybe don't have it out where people can sit on it.
Right? If it's some sentimental chair, doesn't sound that sentimental to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe don't have it out at game night where you're pretty much setting a trap for people. You need to send her a bill for $1 more being I have neck pain.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Be petty.
Yeah.
She said that the chair broke under my weight and couldn't be fixed, and since the chair was an antique from her boyfriend's late grandmother, she wanted a new one for him. But it won't have been his grandmother's.
No.
Well, you can't replace the sentimental value with just some random chair you find just because it looks the same. It's not the one his grandmother sat in. This makes no sense to me.
This is really dumb.
I responded that the chair was very old and had a history of collapsing. If they were concerned about preserving it, they should have not had it out for people to use. And $250+ for a chair I sat in for 1 minute seems a bit ridiculous. At this point, she seemingly got frustrated and said that she loves me, but that I'm her biggest friend and that it wouldn't have happened to anyone else.
You're not that big, honestly.
She said, "It broke from your weight plopping down all at once, not because the frame was loose. I think it's only fair you reimburse us for the chair since you're responsible for breaking it."
Go with the neck pain route. She sounds like an asshole.
I'm still figuring out how to respond. I don't want to pay her for something I don't see as being completely my fault. I also think she's using the scenario to shame me about my weight a bit, which I find frustrating. My friends' opinions are mixed. A few are saying that I should just pay her and move on, even if it's not exactly my fault. One thinks it is my fault and I should pay up. And a few more think that she's in the wrong for asking and I should continue to politely decline. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay?
No, you're not the asshole. Your friend sounds like an asshole. I can't imagine setting out a chair that I knew falls apart regularly for guests to sit in.
I know, that seems so like you're gonna hurt your guests. That's terrible.
Right? No, it's just crazy to me. Or at least sit in it yourself, right?
I think just don't have it out anywhere, especially if it's sentimental and an antique.
Yeah, it's a sentimental antique that is also a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Maybe it should just be in the corner. Out of, like, reach.
Maybe it should just be a chair in the bedroom that you put clothes on and not
Right?
sit in.
It needs to not be in the living room.
One of the top comments, if a chair has a history of breaking, it's unsafe to have guests unknowingly sit on it. What if it breaks the way it usually does and the person sitting on it is injured? Bad hosts, NTA.
Yeah, I swear they set, like, a trap for people. What is this? Also, it sounds like boyfriend isn't good at fixing things. He's like, oh, it falls apart regularly, I can put it back together. It sure sounds like you can't.
Yeah, it does not stay put back together.
Buy a screw.
Maybe some wood glue.
Yeah.
And just, like, make it some more secure.
Yeah.
Another comment. If I broke something at a friend's house, I'd offer to pay for it. If a friend broke something at my house, I'd decline their offer to pay. I'm not sure which is correct, so I'm not passing judgment on who's the asshole. I agree that they shouldn't have had it out where people could sit on it, especially since it had both sentimental and intrinsic value and was not in good repair.
I fully get that mentality of like, no, I'm the asshole in all scenarios.
Yeah.
Listen, if I just hand you a gift, that's because I like you, and you don't owe me anything in return. If you give me a gift, I don't deserve this, why would you do this to me?
And I need to get you something of value equally in sentiment and monetary value so that, we're even.
Yes, you have provided me with a huge burden. I don't deserve this. I'm not a good friend.
No. A lot of people are saying you can't buy a new chair with sentimental value. Like, repair it or just give up and call it a loss. But do not pay because this is dumb.
I will say, if you broke a chair that has sentimental value, I could see replacing it. It really does not sound to me like you broke this chair, though.
No.
It sounds like you just were the last straw that broke the camel's back. This poor chair.
I like this one. The person who moved from the chair to the couch broke it. You were the fall guy, literally.
I forgot about the person that ditched the chair. She definitely broke it.
You think she broke it just a little bit? Was like, oh, don't.
Right?
I'm just gonna not say anything and move to the couch and pretend that I did not break this chair. It's still holding up. It looks okay, kind of, but it is not stable.
100% that is what happened. But I will also add, not her fault either.
No.
But I think that's absolutely what happened. She's like, this chair is wobbling and creaking. I need to get off it.
Yeah, I don't blame the person who got up and moved for moving, but they should have been like, hey, nobody sit in this chair. It seems sketchy.
Right? Am I the asshole for not doing my part after everyone didn't do theirs?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I get not wanting to do it because nobody else is doing it, but I still feel like maybe you should have done your part so no one can blame you for not doing your part. Just to, cover your own butt, do your part. But don't do anyone else's part.
Pretty short and sweet. Went out with a group from work. The plan was to go to the beach park, and there was a few activities planned such as volleyball, fishing, and cornhole. Everyone agreed to have parts in the setup, cleanup, etc. Everyone started drinking as soon as we got there. The guy who was supposed to set up cornhole didn't do it, so I did. People started playing. I asked who was supposed to set up volleyball. Got no answer. I went ahead and set it up. So the exact opposite of your advice so far.
He's doing everybody else's jobs, and then he's going to get blamed for not doing the one thing he was supposed to do. But he did all this other stuff that's make me mad.
Very irritated at this point. I got out the chairs and poles at the fishing spot. Everyone was enjoying the activities. But the only job that was mine was grilling in the evening for everyone to eat. When it came time, I started a very small pile of charcoal and made myself 2 burgers I ate and sat in my chair reading when everyone else started coming up to the pavilion expecting to eat. I told them all the stuff was over there and pointed to the coolers and stuff. Everyone was complaining, saying I was assigned to cook for everyone, and I said I did everyone else's job because they weren't, and everyone said that was my choice and should still do mine. I told them someone else can set up. Long story short, no one grilled. I also refused to clean anything, and so did everyone else. So, the office got a call saying that we are banned from the park. So, am I the asshole?
Not the asshole, your friends suck. Oh my gosh, they're the worst. I don't think he sucks. Like, he should not have had to grill for everybody after he was the only one doing all the work. He was being petty, and I love it. You know, don't cook for them because they're useless.
I think everyone sucks here.
Okay.
And a lot of that is my most traumatic school memory is that I had the person in my group project that was essentially OP.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't doing things on the schedule that I made in my head and didn't tell anyone.
Uh-huh.
So I went ahead and did all the parts, and now I'm mad at everybody. So OP, I get that they asked about volleyball. You didn't have to set up volleyball. It sounds like you didn't even play volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you walked around and angrily set things up and then sat in a chair.
Everybody else was okay just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah. You could have just let them fail. And instead of just letting these people fail, you went and did their job, and then you didn't do your own job. And then nobody cleaned up, and you all got banned from a public park.
Okay, they do all suck for that. But I feel like if nobody else was doing their jobs, should he have had to do his? Because then he's still the only one doing work.
At the very least, you could have just not done your job, and then nobody did their job, and you're all mad.
But he's hungry. He wants food. Don't want to make it for all these other lazy people, though.
You could have just made an excuse and gone home.
Yeah, that might have been the best thing to do in this situation. It sounds like he wasn't having fun anyways.
No, it sounds like they're very petty and kind of controlling, in my opinion. And everyone else is lazy petty. So I don't like anyone in this office, and I'm glad they're banned from the park. Top comment. Everyone sucks here. How old are you and your coworkers? Because you sound like a bunch of kids. It's so rude to leave a mess in a public park. You just make it worse for the next group that wants to use the space. You all deserve to be banned.
I do agree they all deserve to be banned.
I'm gonna say a lot of the comments ignore the first 90% of the story and just focus entirely on the fact that they didn't clean anything up and got banned from the park, because that's enough, honestly. I would have left once no one else was doing anything rather than staying. You should have cleaned the barbecue after yourself, though, because that was your personal mess. And then someone replied to that. Your logic is sound. Have a drink, get an emergency phone call, hand off your task to someone else and split. Done and done. Off and enjoy your time on your own.
Yeah, because it sounds like he was not having fun, and this sounds like a terrible time, and he's just angry.
Yeah.
So he should have just left and gone home, and then he wouldn't have to deal with all of this.
Yeah. It always makes me really mad when there's that one person who wants things done on their schedule and is, like, killing the vibe, and, like, no one else wants it that way. It sounds like no one else in the office cared if these things got set up.
Well, they didn't. Didn't he say that everybody did do the cornhole and the volleyball and the fishing that he set up?
Yeah, but only because you set them up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, would they have done them if you didn't set them up, I wonder?
No, because it's too much work to set up, and they don't care that much, I guess.
They're probably perfectly happy to just drink beer and sit in a circle.
It's boring.
It's boring for this one person. There are a few comments, I will say, that are more on your side with the, not the asshole, but clean up the park, you loser.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. But you made a big mistake by taking charge of their jobs. You didn't get any recognition, but you got blamed for not doing the task assigned to you. Not the asshole for not necessarily cooking. You're the asshole for your entire office. How dare you leave the park a mess? That's the big takeaway in Reddit's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you like this episode so far, slap that subscribe button.
We appreciate your support, and it lets us know that we should keep making fun videos like this for you. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to tell me what flavor of smoothie she wants?
I can guess where this is going. And it's gonna be one of those girls who's like, you just need to know what I want, isn't it? That's exactly what it's gonna be. You're not the asshole. I hate that type of person. I hope that I'm proven wrong and you are not dating this type of person because they're the worst.
I, 24 male, stopped on my way home to pick up a smoothie for my 23 female girlfriend, Evangeline. She's pregnant and she's craving smoothies, so I thought it would be a nice surprise for her. She always drinks the strawberry banana smoothie, so that's what I got for her.
Fair.
But when I got home and gave it to her, she didn't want it. She said that she doesn't feel like bananas and asked me to go get her a different flavor. I asked her what kind she wanted, and she said she didn't know.
No!
I told her that I need to know what flavor. Evangeline said, just get me what I like.
Oh, no!
And I told her that I don't know what flavors she likes other than strawberry banana. She started to get frustrated and said that I know the other one she likes. I had zero clue. She's never asked me for anything other than strawberry banana. I repeated myself multiple times that I don't know what she wants, and she started to cry and said that I was pressuring her too much over a smoothie. She's been in a bad mood ever since, has barely spoken to me all evening. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to tell me what flavor of smoothie she wanted?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say no assholes here, just because she gets a lot of leeway for being pregnant.
I'm going to say those pregnancy hormones I know are crazy. So she doesn't want the strawberry banana. She wants a smoothie. She just doesn't know and she's overwhelming and just bring her a damn smoothie.
It sounds like your only solution is to go buy like 4 different flavors and hope you get it right, man.
If she was not pregnant, I would be like, she's totally the asshole.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't know what she wants and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I feel like a non-pregnant lady doing this is doing some sort of weird test, and I hate her.
Yes.
A pregnant woman doing this is having some sort of hormonal problem at the moment. Just be patient.
But, like, not really the asshole for asking her, because you do need to know what she wants. You're trying your best to make her happy. You will go get her any smoothie she wants. You just need to know what she wants.
And I'm not mad at you either. I've met plenty of guys that are very stressed because their wife or girlfriend needs something and they don't know what, and the guy's out there at the store trying to figure it out.
So yeah, I think his only option was to go and buy like a bunch of flavors of smoothie, but what if they don't have the money for that? And he's just like, I just need to know.
It sounds like you need to go buy a bunch of bags of frozen fruit and make them at home. I don't know what this store is doing that makes them so special. You could probably try to recreate it at home.
I don't know. Surf City Squeeze, they have like some smoothie mix they put in, and I really wanted to get a job at Surf City Squeeze just so I could find out what it was. Because those are the best smoothies I've ever had. And I don't know what magic they put in this creamy smoothie mix. Because I know it's just this creamy smoothie mix, ice and strawberries. But what is the creamy smoothie mix they pour in?
Probably sugar.
Magic.
We don't put sugar in our smoothies when we make them at home. This episode not sponsored, by the way.
No, I just really like them. And I seriously considered trying to get a job there to find out the secret. That's why I worked at Baskin-Robbins.
Ah, okay.
Top comment, NTA. She sounds hormonal from the pregnancy. Don't say that to her, though.
Right. Do not say that. That's a good addition.
No assholes. This sounds like pregnancy hormones in action. Lots of changes going on, and her tastes change accordingly. I would suggest a different approach. You went with, I don't know, tell me approach. That puts pressure on her. You could try, let me open the menu and see if we can find something you would like.
That's an option, just being like, how about strawberry blueberry? And then she maybe will give you a hint.
And be like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want blueberry. And then you just cut out any suggestions with blueberry and keep listing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a good idea. Maybe offer her some options and see if she will pick something.
I feel like options, she was overwhelmed by having too many choices.
Mm-hmm.
She needed options. Just remember that for next time. I still don't think anyone here sucks. Will I be the asshole if I bought a manual car?
Is this like a car you're going to have to end up sharing with someone and the other person doesn't know how to drive manual? Because that's the only reason you might be the asshole. But I mean, if it's just your car, then no, not the asshole. Get what you want. But I feel like it's going to be his wife doesn't know how to drive manual. So it's going to be like the wife doesn't have a car.
My 33 female, boyfriend 35 male, doesn't have a driver's license. For the past 3 years, he's been my passenger princess. I've had my license for over a decade, but only got my first car about 3.5 years ago. Before that, I practiced with my parents' car. We've been together for 8 years. He's been taking driving lessons in a manual car, but he's failed the exam twice. He says he struggles to manage the gear stick, watch the road, and drive all at once. Now he's decided to switch to an automatic license, which means he legally won't be able to drive manual cars at all. Just to clarify, in Europe, they have different licenses.
Okay, because I was going to ask, I was like, are there different licenses? I didn't know there were different licenses for manual and automatic. And, like, I can't drive a manual car, although I feel like I could probably figure it out because, like, I can ride a motorcycle and change gears on a motorcycle. So I could probably figure it out in the car, but I've just never done it.
You know, in the U.S., we pretty much say if you were going to buy the automatic, figure it out.
Yeah.
You're responsible, though, right?
Yeah.
For what happens if you don't. Here's the issue. I drive a manual car. I pay for it entirely. I offered to let him practice in it, but with an automatic-only license, that's no longer an option. Do they not have any sort of learner's permit options
I don't
there?
know.
We also don't have space or budget for a second automatic car. So, for at least the next year, even if he passes, his license won't really be useful. His long-term plan is to buy a rare, expensive automatic car someday.
Someday? You don't have the budget to buy a second car, but he's going to get a rare and expensive one when he does get one.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
That doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, my current car is old and has issues, so I'm planning to replace it, likely this year. I mean, if you're still driving a manual, I assume it's old.
Yeah.
You can bear... I don't know if it's different in Europe. Around here, you have to pay extra to get a manual, which is pointless because automatic is just better.
Yeah.
I've had my eye on a specific manual model for a while, and have mentioned it to him several times. When I found one for sale nearby and sent him the listing, his first reaction was to point out that it's manual, and he won't be able to drive it. I reminded him that I will be paying for this car. It's my money, and it will be my vehicle. Automatic versions of the same model are significantly more expensive, and I don't see why I should spend more just so he can drive it too, knowing he willingly won't get his manual license. I don't want him to pay anything because I want it to be my car. If I go ahead with buying the manual car, I know he'll say things like I'm not thinking about us. Will I be the asshole if I just went ahead and bought the manual car I want?
Not the asshole. Your money, your car. He's your boyfriend. You're not even married. So and you still have separate finances and everything. So I don't think you need to take his driving into consideration when you're buying a car for yourself. If he needs a car, he can buy his own car.
You have been dating for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
You probably should be thinking about us a little more than just me.
Okay, I wasn't really listening. I didn't know it was 8 years, but that is a long time. But he should just get married with her, and then it's their car.
I mean, that's also true, but I'm not going to get into that part of your relationship. That's not on the table right now. I was going to say, but I think he's just being lazy, not getting the manual license.
Yeah, all it takes is more practice. He just needs to practice a lot more to figure out how to drive manual and pay attention to the road and, all the stuff he's concerned about. He just doesn't want to practice because it sounds like he doesn't plan on driving that much. Like he's
the passenger princess.
He's the passenger princess. He's been okay not driving for years.
Yeah, because they have public transportation.
Oh yeah, we don't have that. So so I feel like he's just kind of being a little bit lazy about learning how to drive manual. If he really, really wants to drive her car, he can learn manual.
And I also don't really respect his decision to save up for a rare, expensive automatic car.
Yeah, no.
When you could buy just a cheap piece of crap.
Buy something cheap that works, that'll get you from point A to point B. That's all you need it for.
Yeah, it sounds like you two are buying used cars.
Mm-hmm.
Just buy whatever, and it sounds like he's going to go to the grocery store once a month with his driving record. Like, it's not going to be used a lot. It just needs to not leak oil all over your driveway, although I think you did say you can't store a second car.
Oh yeah, they did say that.
Which then flips it back a little on you. Why are you buying a car that he can't drive when you only have space to store one car? I feel like you're both just really dancing that line between asshole and not the asshole.
Yeah, I was like, that does make it a little tougher, because if he wanted to get a car, he couldn't, because they don't have space for it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he doesn't want to get his own car. He just wants to use yours, which is not cool.
But also, like, you're 8 years into the relationship and everything's probably combined at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm having trouble with this one. I think he's a little more the asshole than you, just because it's probably easier for him to get the manual license at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if you go ahead and buy the manual car when he just for some reason cannot get a manual license, that makes you a little bit of the asshole too.
Yeah, I'd say, like, if he wants you to get an automatic, it should be like he pays the difference in price between the automatic and the manual, but she said she doesn't want him to have any part of payment in the car, right, so that it belongs solely to her, which is a little weird if you've been, dating someone for 8 years and are living together, that you're so like, this is my car.
Yeah, are you planning on dumping him? What's going on here?
I don't know. Their relationship is weird.
Yeah, their relationship is weird. I agree.
I'm having a really hard time figuring out how committed they are to each other, which makes, like, a huge difference in whether you should buy a car that he can also drive.
Yeah, they've been together for 8 years, so I think committed. And then she's like, I don't want him to have anything to do with my fucking car.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, not committed. She might break up with him.
Yeah. I can't.
She doesn't trust him with her car or money, so no, he's no. Not committed.
Honestly, it kind of sounds to me like he might be a little more committed to the relationship than her. Because for some reason, I don't know the logic, he can't get a manual license. He just can't figure it out. I know plenty of people that suck at manual, and they drive automatic, and who cares? In which case, you should probably get the automatic that you can both drive.
See, you see that as him being more committed, and I see that more as him being, like, moochery and, like, trying to mooch off of her.
Well, he's trying not to mooch off her because she's driving him everywhere right now. He's getting a license finally.
But he wants to use her car.
Well,
this is so weird.
I would say he wants to use her car, but they can only fit one car.
Yeah.
If she hadn't specifically said, we can only fit one car, I'd be like, well, he needs to get his own damn car.
I feel like since you can only have one car, you both need to buy a car together jointly.
Yeah.
That you can both use, so that means an automatic. But if he's paying for half of it, you should be able to afford it.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the only reason you can't get an automatic, is because you don't want him to have anything to do with the car, which is super weird 8 years into a relationship.
Yeah. Okay, this one is a tough one, and I just do not know because their relationship is so weird.
I think I'm leaning towards I hate both of you.
Yeah.
Get your act together. There are two quick edits to clarify. One is just to say they do live in Western Europe, where the automatic and manual licenses are separate.
Okay.
And the other one is boyfriend didn't put off getting his license because he couldn't afford it, but because he claims he didn't need it, he's always gotten around using public transport or by riding with others. Which, you know, if you live in a city or somewhere with good public transportation, like, yeah, who cares? I know a lot of people like that.
And I have heard that in Europe, it is super expensive to get your driver's license.
Is it?
Yeah, like $1,000 or something.
Oh, damn.
Because you've got to take lessons and then you got to pay to get your license or something like that.
I mean, you have to do that here, too. I don't know what it is nowadays for lessons.
I don't know how much lessons are, and I do not know how much they charge you to get your license.
Come to think of it, like, back when I got my learner's permit in the far-off year of 2001...
Gee, you're old.
I know, right? I think my parents paid like $200, $300 for my like driving class. Top comment: if he can't drive manual and watch the road, then he should not be let on the road.
Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't be let on the road with a manual. Sounds like he can handle automatic.
I don't know what happens when he's trying to change the radio station because he can't do manual. I feel like you're probably not good at multitasking.
That is the thing, right? Is that you're not... It's a matter of not being good at multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you take the test here, they do make you like, hey, adjust the radio while we're driving.
Mm-hmm. They did do that, yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, I drove a manual for my first, 10 years of having a license. But when I took that test, I used Mom's car and did it in an automatic because that test sucks.
And it's a lot easier in an automatic.
It absolutely is. Not the asshole. Driving a manual isn't that difficult. If he lacks that type of coordination, I could only imagine what he fucks up on a daily basis. Jeez, I know it's not that difficult, but I don't know. Some people just can't wrap their head around it. So many Reddit comments are just, if he can't drive a car, then he's an idiot. Reddit's mean.
Am I the asshole for being upset with my girlfriend after she intentionally hit an animal with her car?
You're not an asshole for being upset about that. You're dating a serial killer.
That was kind of my thought, too. I was like, well, she's a psychopath. Okay.
Yeah.
My 21 male girlfriend, 27 female, was driving us home late from a friend's house. It was dark and it had just rained, so it was sort of slick and misty. We were chatting and listening to the radio, going through some sort of quiet roads, and I see little dots of animal eyes. 98% sure it was a possum, and a flash of its fur. The critical thing here is we definitely would have just missed it if she had kept the steering wheel straight. It wasn't going fast enough. She jerked on the fucking steering wheel enough to thunk. I just looked at her like she was insane. She just made a raised eyebrow, oh my gosh, haha, I can't believe I did that sort of face, and kept driving.
Okay, not the greatest reaction, but was she trying to dodge and just did a bad job?
Other than being like, dude, WTF a couple times, I really didn't talk about it much more until the next day. I pressed her about it and she even played dumb for a little while before pulling the, oh my gosh, who gives a fuck? It's not that fucking serious, dude. I've never seen her hurt an animal or do anything like that. We have a cat together, and I've known her for years before we were together. I've always known her to take good care of animals. I don't know. To me, this is completely bizarre behavior, and the attitude about it is almost as bad. She gets increasingly pissed off when I bring it up, but I still feel really weird and confused about the whole thing. But I feel like I could also be an aberration, and I really have no other complaints or issues with her. Should I just let it go?
It almost sounds like you're just, like, trying to hammer this point home with her, and she's just like, stop. Sorry, I just feel like there's no point in that story where you gave any evidence that she did it on purpose.
She said it's not that big of a deal.
I'm sorry. It sucks that you ran over a possum. I would feel bad. It's not that big of a deal if you're talking to her like 10 times in a day about it. I might snap at you too.
If she did it intentionally, it's a big deal.
Oh, if she did it intentionally, it's a big deal.
He thinks she did it intentionally, like she swerved to hit it. They were going to miss it.
Okay, that's a good point. At no point during this did she say, like, no, I didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
But did he ever ask her if she did it intentionally?
He does not specifically say, but I feel like she would have said it was an accident if it was an accident. It's not a big deal. She would have been like, it was an accident. Get over it. Instead of being like, it's not that deep, you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that part where she's like, it was an accident, get over it. Mm-hmm. He'd already brought it up like 6 times. At which point, like, hey, I'm sorry I hit the animal. But I feel like before that point, I might have been like, hey, it wasn't on purpose.
If someone keeps bringing it up and it wasn't on purpose, you definitely would have said it's not on purpose. So I'm pretty sure she did it on purpose, like he thinks she did, because she swerved to hit it.
So yeah, I'm not happy with your girlfriend. I'm gonna make that clear, that I'm not happy with the person that ran over the possum. I just feel like you need to just flat out ask her if she hit it on purpose. I don't know. It seems weird to me the way he's asking.
I feel like you were giving her way too much benefit of the doubt here.
I mean,
like, you were like, just ask her if it's an accident. If it was an accident, she wouldn't have done a, oh, haha, look, I'm gonna hit a possum face when she hit it. She wouldn't have told him that, get over it, it's not a big deal like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I don't need to be defending the person that ran over a possum, I guess. Like, there's nothing redeeming about her at all in this entire story. I don't know why I'm trying to take her side.
Yeah, you're kind of making me mad, and you just keep bringing up, well, what if she did it on accident? I'm like, there's no evidence that she did do it on accident, and you just keep bringing it up.
There's not much evidence that she did it on purpose, in my opinion. But yeah, it's not great, her reaction. I don't like her reaction. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. There's something about the way he told the story where I feel like he's not communicating with her right, and I don't know what it is that's like not letting me just get fully against the girlfriend here.
And I'm like, she swerved and hit a possum, and you're like trying to find a way to defend her. What's wrong with you?
Because I have been driving down the country road late at night where I'm like, oh, an animal. I try to dodge, and then I hear that thunk, and I'm like, damn. And I feel bad. I hit the animal, but it just happens when you're driving in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. If she swerved on purpose to hit the animal, she sucks, and you should break up with her because she's not a healthy human.
You're just not convinced that that's what happened.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I guess I'm trying to give her that basic human decency. I'm trying to believe that she has a basic amount of human decency here.
Top comment. Nope, I dumped a friend after he swerved his van to hit a chipmunk. He thought it was great. Laughed that he saw that chipmunk every day and finally got him. That's some psycho shit, and I'm sorry your lover sucks. No way I could live with that. NTA, and good luck getting that cruelty out of your head. You're gonna flash back to this moment every time she does something mean. I wouldn't stay with anyone who harms anything weaker than themselves. That's a relationship breaker to me.
Okay, but your friend laughed openly. Whereas the girlfriend, what was her reaction? She just raised her eyebrows?
Raised an eyebrow. Oh my gosh, haha, I can't believe I did that sort of face.
Okay. But you could read that in a different tone.
I don't know.
You could be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that.
Oh. No, but oh my gosh, haha. I can't believe I did that.
Nervous laughter. Nervous laughter, maybe. I'm really, I don't know why I'm defending this woman so badly. It's something about the story. It just isn't clicking with me here. I don't know what it is.
You can't believe a woman would be this cruel.
I want to believe a human can't be this cruel.
I wouldn't just be upset if someone I was dating harmed an animal for no reason. I'd be done. You're NTA for being upset. Reconsider being with any person who would do that, especially if they are bringing pets into the relationship. Leave the girl, take the cat.
Yeah, it sounds like you think she did it on purpose, which means it's time to go. That's an opinion that I can get behind.
Okay, this comment is interesting. Fish and Wildlife did a study near me. They put fake turtles, snakes, and bunnies on the side of the road and set up cameras. It was disturbing the percentage of people that went over the white line to run an animal down. Game officers said they were legit depressed about the stats.
Oh no.
So you have more faith in humanity than humanity deserves, according to this study.
It sounds like the Fish and Wildlife people had shared my opinion until they did the study. It took me a while, I think, to accept the reality of the human condition. But yeah, she sucks, dump her.
You were making me mad with how much you defended her. And it could be a misunderstanding.
Everybody deserves a fair trial, Kristie.
Not if they kill a possum. I love possums. I wish I was wearing my possum shirt.
Possums are super cute.
I'm one of my many possum shirts.
Yeah, you own several. Am I the asshole for telling my son he's a doormat?
That seems a little harsh. I mean, even if he is, there's gotta be a nicer way to say that. That sounds kind of assholey.
I, 44 female, have a high school-aged son. He started at a new high school for freshman year in a district he'd never been to before. So, my son seems to have self-confidence issues.
A lot of teenagers do.
He thinks the only way he can make friends is to offer them something. He's very skilled academically, so what he feels like he has to offer is answers on assignments in class. Like last year, if literally anyone asked him for answers, he would give it up, hoping they would like him. Same with group projects. He'd be doing other people's part of the group project to make it easier on them. After school last week, he was complaining to me, saying people didn't talk to him anymore, even though they had talked in classes they had last year and thought they were friends, or at least acquainted. I told him if he'd stop being a doormat and trying to win people over with giving them stuff and getting nothing in return, he'd actually make some friends. I wasn't trying to be as rude as this post seems to be. He's been pretty distant since. Am I the asshole?
Yes. Teenage years is such a sensitive time. You need to be so careful in what you say to your kids so you don't scar them for life. I feel like calling him a doormat was a little bit harsh. And he's already having trouble making friends. You do not need to knock his self-esteem down any further than it already is. Maybe instead of telling him what's wrong with him, you could offer suggestions on what he should do to make friends in a nicer way. And point out all his good qualities and how people just need to get to know him. He should go talk to some people and let them get to know him.
I will say, I feel like you didn't stick the landing. You didn't describe the landing at all. You just said you called him a doormat and then you didn't give any more information. That's exactly the type of advice my mom would have given me. She would have been like, you're being kind of a doormat, Josh. And then she would have gone on and said something like, you gotta be this, be nice, give me good advice after that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of shock at the front of the good advice.
Okay.
But it sounds like you didn't do it good because your son won't talk to you.
Yeah, I was like, your son not talking to you definitely lets you know that you were the asshole. It was too harsh. He couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know your son. I don't know what else you said. Sounds like you fucked up.
Yeah.
Just from that reaction at the end, I can say, you didn't do a good job. Reddit strongly agrees that she's the asshole in this situation. Top comment, you're the asshole completely. You don't belittle someone into more self-confidence. Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
You're the asshole. So instead of trying to figure out why he is struggling socially and building his self-confidence, you opt for making him feel worse about himself. Interesting strategy, but not a good one. How about considering therapy and getting him involved in activities that build his self-confidence and social skills? His teachers may also have some insight from working with kids his age on the regular. He could need to build his confidence and social skills. He might not find his people at school, or it could be something more. But you'll get much further by supporting him and building him up than by insulting him.
I feel like it is very important with teenagers to help build them up rather than tearing them down and insulting them. And you gotta be very careful what you say to teenagers because it'll stick with them.
It will. It'll stick with them for life. I really like the advice that last commenter said, though. Get him in some extracurricular activities.
Yes.
It sounds like he's not in any. And Tennis built so much confidence for me growing up. The best thing about sports lessons is that it's like forced social interaction between you and the other people taking the group lesson. So you have a common point to talk about. It's just an easy way to do like an icebreaker.
I also feel like as you practice, you get better at the thing, and that like helps build your confidence because you're improving and you know you're improving.
Yeah.
So you like it builds confidence.
Yeah, in a few months you can look back and be like, wow, I've gotten a lot better at this, and that does really build up your self-confidence.
Mm-hmm. So it's good for self-confidence and like practicing social skills. I do really feel like getting into an activity would be good. Even improv would be good because that would get him more comfortable with speaking with people and stuff.
Yeah, I know some people that have signed up for improv classes just to work on their public speaking more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for jumping out of a bathroom window to avoid my mom's attempt at forcing a reunion between me and my ex-fiance?
I am looking forward to hearing this story. I'm gonna say you're not the asshole. I feel like that's a safe opinion at this point.
Some backstory. I'd been dating my ex-fiance, Sarah, for 4 years. We had been planning to get married in November, but I found out at the start of the month that she was cheating on me. She begged me to give her another chance, but I broke it off.
Okay, you don't need to give that person another chance.
The problem was that being cheated on is, in my opinion, completely emasculating and humiliating. So I never told anyone that that was the reason we broke up.
Oh, that does make it harder for your mom when she's trying to reconnect you, but it still doesn't make you the asshole.
For obvious reasons, Sarah also didn't tell people we broke up because she cheated. So people have blamed me for the breakup, including my mom. They just see that I dumped her out of the blue. I've gone very strict no contact with Sarah after I discovered she was cheating on me. Sarah has been talking with my mom and has convinced her that if we could talk one more time, we would be able to reconcile. My mom has been applying hardcore pressure on me to talk with Sarah, but I've explained that there's no chance we will ever get back together.
Okay, it sounds like you suck at explaining things, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you didn't want to be like, for some reason you don't want to throw this cheating woman under the bus. You could have said, like, she betrayed me, I can't. It sounds like you're putting no blame on Sarah.
I do feel like I do not understand his mindset that being cheated on is emasculating and humiliating. Maybe a little
It's humiliating.
But it is more so for the person who cheated, because then you can go around and tell everybody that they're a big fat cheater and a terrible person.
Yeah, most people just do that by default.
Yeah. It's like, not my fault she cheated, but she cheated, she's a terrible person.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he needed to be more firm with his mom that they're never, ever, ever, ever getting back together.
It just sounds like he said, like, no, we're not getting back together. And then he didn't throw her under the bus at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, no, Sarah really backstabbed me. I don't want to get into details. He could have said that.
Yeah. Anyways, so tonight I go over to my mom's place because she's hosting a family for Christmas Eve. This is a little bit of an old story, but I'm there for a bit talking with my aunts and uncles and cousins when the doorbell rings and I can see it's Sarah. I ask what the heck is going on, and my mom says she invited Sarah so we can work this out in the spirit of the holidays. I'm pissed now because the only way to explain my side of the story is to tell everyone I was cheated on. Complete humiliation in front of my whole family.
Okay, yeah, it does seem like you are way too
concerned about how your image will take a hit with people finding out that your fiance cheated on you.
Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like you're way too concerned about how this will affect your image, and like it's gonna affect her image
a lot more than it affects yours.
It's barely gonna affect yours. People are gonna be like, what a bitch.
Yeah. So my mom goes to open the front door. I go into the bathroom. My mom starts knocking on the door saying that I need to come out and talk to my ex like an adult. I say fuck it, kick out the window screen, get in my car, and go home.
Okay, you know that window screens can just be removed, right?
Yeah. Maybe he's being dramatic.
Okay.
I mean, his mom kind of deserves to have her window screen kicked out for not listening to her son saying that he never wants to see Sarah again.
I mean, that's true. Mom did kind of...
Why is mom picking the fiancé side over her son's side?
Mom knows best.
My mom called a short while ago saying she's cutting ties with me over my behavior. She's really fixated on me jumping out of a window, and that Sarah will always be like a child to her. My sister called me after to ream me out for ruining Christmas. I broke down and told her that Sarah cheated on me, which is why I dumped her, and I didn't want to see her under any circumstances. She called me a big asshole who was just lying to cover for myself.
You dug such a fucking hole, man. I'm sorry, finish the last line.
Am I really in the wrong?
Bro. I don't know who put it in your head that getting cheated on is emasculating to the point that you need to dive out a damn window. You're not the asshole, but I feel like you're dumb.
Yes. There's better ways to handle this. I feel like this is a you problem, a lot of it. Just tell people she cheated on you. It's going to look so much worse for her.
It is. It's not even going to look that bad for you. What kind of machismo, like, old-fashioned logic do you have that, like, I couldn't control my woman? What is this?
Top comment. F that. Your mom, Sarah, and your sister are all a-holes. The nerve of her to show up at your mom's house. I'm pissed off just reading this. I don't understand why your mother is so invested in Sarah. Why would you want to tell her Sarah cheated on you after how your sister acted? What a mess. Not gonna lie, you kicking out the screen and taking off through the window is straight savage. Reflexes up on legendary. NTA.
I just feel like you would have gotten so much more emotional satisfaction by stepping out there in the middle of Christmas and being like, why did you invite this bitch that cheated on me?
Yeah.
And then let Sarah
humiliated herself because now everybody knows she's a cheating bitch.
Yeah. I don't know why you refused to throw her onto the bus. It's so weird to me. It's not like you need to maintain her relationship with your family. If they're a good family, they're going to cut her off, no matter how much they like her.
NTA, but dude, you've got to tell them why you're acting like this. People will certainly feel a bit sorry for you, but they'll realize why you don't want to be in the same room with this girl.
Yeah, you acted like a crazy ass man.
It's hard to blame them for trying to help fix something when they don't understand how badly it's been broken.
Right?
So a lot of people are saying not the asshole, but you just tell everybody. You should have told everybody before it gets to this point. Although they do think that the mom needs to stay in her lane and, like, not try and fix this situation.
Yeah, but a lot of moms just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you just have to give her all the info she should be working with. Yeah, I'm never happy about an ambush.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not the asshole.
Diving out a window seems a bit extreme, but I do find it hilarious.
It is kind of funny.
Okay.
Although, if you refuse to tell me the reason, and you kicked my screen out and disappeared in the middle of Christmas, and probably left the bathroom door locked from the inside.
Oh yeah, good point. Someone's gonna have to crawl in through that window to get the bathroom door back open.
You kinda are setting yourself up to look like you're having some sort of mental breakdown, man.
He really does.
We only have one bathroom in our house.
Yeah.
And you can't climb through the window very easily.
You have to get a ladder.
Yeah.
And it is tiny. I don't think you could fit through it.
No, I could not. Am I the asshole for not changing my annual backyard party plans for my boyfriend and his kids?
That's a little tough because I don't know what he wants you to change. But it feels like you should try and accommodate your boyfriend, but at the same time, this is something that you've been doing for years. Should you have to change it? I don't know what he wants you to I think it depends on what he wants you to change.
Do you want to say the word change a few more times in that sentence?
What are we changing? The changes could be very changeifying, but I don't know what changes he wants to change. So
everyone's going to click off this video during this sentence that you're doing right now. I, 42 female, have been hosting an end-of-summer party with my neighbors for years. It's always the same setup. Adults and kids come, we all celebrate together, and at some point the kids go to sleep while the adults continue the evening. This year's plan was the same. I was going to bring my kids, 6 and 10-year-old, inside to sleep at our home, which is right next to the backyard. Good spot for your home, right next to the backyard.
That is a very good spot for your home. And your backyard.
From the balcony, there is both audio and visual access to the yard, and my kids also have a phone they can use to call me if needed. After putting them to bed, I plan to go back to the backyard for a little while longer to enjoy the evening with friends. I invited my boyfriend of 6 months, 46 male, and his kids, 5 and 7-year-old, to join us. He declined, saying he didn't feel comfortable leaving his kids to sleep at my place since they hadn't stayed there before.
Okay, that seems kind of fair. Like, 5 years old in a place they haven't been before, I'm not sure I would trust them to stay in bed and go to sleep.
Yeah, I feel like at 5 I would have cried.
Yeah.
He also didn't like the idea of putting them to bed at my place while he stayed outside with me, or going to bed with them while I stayed outside. I told him I understood completely and I didn't have a problem with him choosing not to come. But then he got upset and said that he and his kids weren't actually welcome at the party because of the way the party was set up.
That seems weird.
I explained that this party has been running for years with the same format, and it's not really something I can or want to change for one guest. My view is that guests can decide if the event works for them, and if not, they don't have to come. In his opinion, I should have left the party with him and our kids when it was bedtime.
You can't leave your own party. That is insane. What does he mean, just leave with him? Just leave your party?
Leave all these people in your backyard? That's weird.
So weird.
On top of that, during the party, I didn't have time to call him because I wanted to focus on my guests and enjoy the evening. He was very hurt by this too, saying I should have made time.
You can't just stop in the middle of the party to go make phone calls, like, just to check in with your,
boyfriend of 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, only 6 months. Okay, this is weird. He's, being weirdly controlling.
It's weird, right? This all turned into a big argument. So, am I the asshole for not changing the setup of a tradition to accommodate my boyfriend and his kids, and for not calling during the party?
Not the asshole. I feel like there was so many solutions you could have done to make this work with your boyfriend and his kids attending. I do understand him not being comfortable putting his kids to bed at your house, but there's other things you could do instead. Like, he could have come with the kids and then taken them back home and left them with the sitter when it was bedtime and then come back to the party.
He could have just gone home.
Yeah, he could have just gone
just
home.
left you for the second half of the party.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, first thing, he could have just gone home early when it was the kids' bedtime.
Yeah.
Still come to the party, him and his kids participated in the party. They just left a little early because kids have bedtimes. Other thing is, if he wanted to stay for the whole party, get a sitter for his kids. I just don't understand. There's a lot of different solutions they could have done here.
It sounds like she offered him some solutions, too.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, it's got to be a party that my children can attend, and we have to have a strict bedtime.
It's like he wanted the whole party to revolve around him and his kids. And she's like, no, this has been going on for years before you were even in the picture.
Yeah.
Which is valid on her part,
I mean, that's very valid on her part. And they're not far from the kids. They're in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all kids that are old enough not to, wander off. Right?
Hopefully,
hopefully. But, 5 and 7, I would feel comfortable, being that far away from them while they're sleeping.
Yeah, you were still within hearing range and everything, so...
And they got a phone.
Yeah. But I do understand if it's a strange house and your kids might be a little, scared or uncomfortable there and you don't want to leave them alone there.
But the solution is not cancel the party in that instance.
Yeah,
The solution is, hey, kids are getting sleepy. We're going to cut out. Love ya.
And then him wanting to, drop everything in the middle of the party that she's hosting to call him and check in with him, that seems really controlling. Can she not have one night without talking to you?
That's weird, right? I get being you're out on the town, maybe send me a text.
Yeah.
But we've been together for a lot longer than 6 months, too. No, just dropping a party to have a phone call with your boyfriend is weird. Him wanting you to leave the party and go to bed is weird. Your boyfriend seems a little weird and controlling.
Yeah, it's he's trying to figure out how much he can make you change this thing to suit him.
Right?
I feel like he's pushing limits and testing what you'll go along with.
It kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This one seems really blatantly that.
It's manipulative and controlling, and I don't like it.
Yeah. He's either testing limits or he's just upset because he made a declaration and you didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. What does Reddit think?
Not the asshole.
Okay.
Top comment, not the asshole. He was testing the waters to see if he can control you. And now he is trying to manipulate you. You did nothing wrong. Hope you see this, OP. He's making a weird demand to see if you'll change your traditions for him. And he's pretending he has something to be mad about to manipulate you. Not the asshole, but I hope you see through this manipulation, OP. This man sees his relationships as power struggles, and he wants you to give up your power. Keep your eyes open for more moves like this. Not the asshole. He literally could have just came to the party and left with his kids when it got late and he didn't want them sleeping over. That's it. Full stop. Instead, he's mad. You have only known each other for a couple months. He wanted you to change a tradition that involves others for what? I still don't understand why he is so upset about this. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I don't understand.
It makes so little sense that the only options I can think of are all he's being very controlling. All right, that's our last story for today. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.